Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So in this video we'll discuss the third problem of Leetcode Weekly Contest 334. It's a medium level problem. So the problem name is find the maximum number of marked indices. So you are given a zero indexed integer array nums. So initially all the indices are unmarked. You are allowed to make this operation any number of times. Which operation? Pick two different unmarked indices I and j such that 2 into nums of I is less than equal to nums of j. Then mark I and j as visited. Okay. Return the maximum possible number of marked indices in nums using the above operation any number of times. Okay. So you are given an array and you can perform one operation. Which operation? Pick two numbers, let's say x and y, such that if 2 into x is less than equal to y, so mark these two indices as what do you call it, visited. Okay, so you need to tell what are the maximum number of marked or visited indices. That's the problem. Okay, so suppose this is your first example, 3, 5, 2 and 4. So if I sort this, why I'm sorting it? So that the observation is simple, right? Because obviously I'll be on left hand side, so I have two elements x and y, where I want 2 into x is less than equal to y, so I want this element to be less than y. Obviously that is obvious. So you sort it, so I get 2, 3, 4 and 5. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yes, now just see how many combinations can be formed. If I pick this 2, so obviously it cannot form a pair with 3. However, it can form a pair with 4 because 2 into 2 is less than equal to 4. Okay, so these two are visited or marked. Now 3 and 5 cannot form a pair, so obviously there is just one combination that can be formed, right? Let's look into the other example. Just a second, for clarity I'll just do it. Okay, now the next example is this 9, 2, 5 and 4. So if I sort it, I get 2, 4, 5 and 9. Okay, so just see here 2 and 4 are forming a pair because 2 into 2 is less than equal to 4, and 5 and 9, the remaining indices, are not forming a pair. So in this case, if I pick 2 and 4 to form a pair, only two indices will be visited. However, I need to return the maximum possible number of marked indices. So what is the other possibility? The other possibility is, let's make a pair of 2 and 5, because again 2 into 2 is less than equal to 5. Okay, 2 and 5 form a pair, and then 4 and 9 will also form a pair because 2 into 4 is less than equal to 9. So just see here, if you change the pairs, what is happening? If you change the combination, then all the 4 indices are marked. Hence answer is 4. You need to return the maximum number of marked indices. And what about this one? So this is 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter which combination you pick, you cannot form a pair, right? So answer is 0 in this case. Now the example that we saw, the second one, right, this gives us a hint that okay, you just cannot pick up any two numbers, and if they are forming a pair, then we are good to go. No, we need to form a pair such that if there is a possibility to form more pairs, we are able to do it. So let's see, suppose I sort an array. Okay, suppose I have I have some numbers which are sorted. Okay, let's pick up the midpoint. Midpoint means if I have n elements roughly, so these are n by 2 elements and these are n by 2 elements. Why? Because to get the maximum possible answer, all these n by 2 form a pair with all these n by 2, right? So that is why I come at the midpoint. Now what I will do in this case is, I will try to see whether the numbers are forming a pair or not. So pick up the first number here. So this will be the smallest number. Okay, this will be the smallest number, and pick up one number here. Now why we are doing this? We are doing this because ideally we want that all the numbers on the left hand side form the smaller number, that means x, and all the numbers on the right hand side in the second part of the array form y. What are x and y? 2 into x is less than equal to y. Then only I'll get the maximum answer if all the small elements lie on the left hand side and all the large elements lie on the right hand side. Okay, so again I pick the minimum element here, and if this minimum element is forming a pair with this minimum element, then I am good to go. These two form a pair. However, if a pair is not being formed, I will check for the next number in this half. Why am I doing so? Because just see, if I want to form a pair, I should pick the minimum number here. I should pick the minimum number. Like for example, if I have a number 2 here and I have a number 3 here. So if 3 is forming a pair, then obviously 2 will form a pair, because if 2 into 3, 2 times 3 is less than equal to some number y here, then obviously 2 into 2 will always also be less than equal to y, right? So we pick the minimum element here. We pick the minimum element here because what if I get another number here which is able to form a number after this, okay? So in short, minimum element here should form a pair with the minimum element here. However, if you are not able to find, if the current element is basically not forming a pair, you keep on moving, right? You keep on moving, because ultimately this the only value which can form a pair is the minimum value here, okay? So this is what we will do, okay? Let me just erase it for clarity. So that was the intuition. So you have an array, pick up the midpoint, okay? Take two, it's a 2-pointer approach, right? Take 2 pointers, one here, one here. Compare these 2 elements. If they form a pair, okay, we are good to go. Move one step ahead. Compare this, compare this. However, if these 2 are not forming a pair, so I need to form a pair of this number with some element. So I move ahead. I check for these 2. If they are forming a pair, we are good to go. We again move forward. However, if that was not forming a pair, I'll move to the next element. I will check whether these 2 are forming a pair or not, right? So this is the approach. If I show you the code, then it's very simple. You just sort the array. You see how many elements are there. My answer equals to 0, and this is the index for the left part. For the left part, and basically this is the index for the right part. Okay, mid. Okay. Now what I do, I check if nums of index into 2 is less than equal to nums of mid. That means if this times 2 is less than equal to this, then what will happen? Then what I'll do, then what I'll do is I'll increment my index. I'll increment this guy. I'll move forward that, okay, now let's check for other elements whether they are forming a pair or not, and I'll increment my answer by 2, because now 2 indices are, whenever a pair is formed, 2 indices are marked, okay? And then I do mid plus plus. That means I keep on incrementing this index. So just see whether a pair is formed or not. This index will always be moved, right? Because if you form a pair, you move to the next element. If you were not able to form a pair, you will search for the next element, that whether this element is forming a pair with the left hand side or not, right? And finally, you return your answer. Okay. So that's it for this problem. I hope you learned something new from this video. Do support it by giving up a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel as well. In case of any queries, mention that into the comment section. I'll revert on each one of them. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.